You ever feel violent?
Yes, I do.
What do you feel like doing?
Killing people.
Everyone, всем привет. Welcome to another episode. Starting off, I want to let you know and make sure that you're aware how much I appreciate you and how amazing you are. It means a lot to me to have everyone's support. I love seeing all of the positive comments and things like that. And then speaking of support, the merch, I appreciate everyone who's made orders, plans to make orders, and everything like that. That directly supports the channel because I refuse to do a Patreon, right? I'm not going to hold information hostage for money from you guys. I am going to give you something in return, right? That's not just basic information because that's what the video is for. So I'm always coming up with new designs and new items and things like that. So go check it out pretty consistently. And again, I appreciate it. Whether you buy something or just give me a view, means the world. So today's video is going to be essentially a direct response to people asking how to choose the correct AK rifle for them. And so we're going to be talking about some considerations and some nuances and things like that when it comes to choosing the rifle. And I'm going to give you some facts as well to help you decide. And so starting at the top of the food chain, we obviously are going to have the full-size 16-inch AK rifle that everyone has seen, knows, and loves. And so with AKs, you're going to have two types. You're going to have milled and you're going to have stamped receivers. Milled just means that it's going to be one solid block, right? That it was essentially cut from. So heat dissipation, right? It's not going to get as hot as easy. You might have a little bit better harmonics for accuracy, right? That's obviously up for debate, but those are some things. But it's also going to weigh more, right? Milled is always going to weigh more, about a pound more. Milled full-size rifle, you're looking at about 8 pounds. And a stamped full-size rifle, you're looking at approximately 7 pounds, give or take, right? And so 16 inches, a lot of people like to know the muzzle velocity. The muzzle velocity on this, I've got notes here to make sure I give you the right info. At the muzzle, we're looking at about 23 to 2,400 feet per second, which is pretty darn good for the 7.62x39 cartridge. Now, keep that in mind as we talk about, this is the AK-104, kind of the mid-size, with a 12.5-inch barrel. Now, the 7.62x39 cartridge is absolutely fantastic in terms of it doesn't lose velocity at the muzzle. Similar to kind of like 300 Blackout, it doesn't lose a whole lot the shorter the barrel goes. With a 12.5-inch barrel, so about 4 inches of difference, we're looking at about 2,200 in terms of velocity at the muzzle. So 1 to 200 deviation in the velocity is absolutely fantastic. Because of the shorter barrel, you might have a slight degradation of accuracy shooting at longer ranges, but I don't know about you. I'm not planning on using this as a sniper platform at all, right? So short barrels are absolutely fantastic with the 7.62 caliber. Also, one thing to look for is folding stocks. I recommend whatever model that you get has a folding stock. It's going to make the stock, it's going to make the rifle a lot more, a smaller package for transportation. It's going to be lighter weight. It's just going to be easier to handle. As long as you don't mind SBRing your rifles, which I honestly recommend just sucking it up, do the SBR. Don't mess with braces, just put a stock on there. It's going to make life a whole lot better. Now, I want to talk about magazines for just a second. And we're going to be going over rifle setups in a different video. Again, this is just the considerations overview. I want to talk about magazine weight because this is one thing a lot of people don't think about. Steel magazines, fully loaded, are roughly about 2 pounds. And when you're carrying 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 mags, that weight is really going to stack up. And then when you go down to polymer, you're looking at approximately 1.3 to 1.4 pounds, right? So you're shaving off a ½ pound, roughly, give or take, obviously, depending on the grain weight of the actual bullet. But polymer mags, especially with the technology nowadays, are a great option instead of the steel mags, in my personal opinion. Now, we're going to get to kind of the hype beast, AK, if you will, or everyone's, favorite, including my own. I mean, I've got a tattoo of it, is the AKSU platform. Now, this, I've got a couple things to say. So I've seen a lot of people give reviews and their thoughts on these shorter barrel rifles, and they kind of harp on them. Oh, the accuracy isn't that great. Oh, the velocity is not great. Yeah, well, obviously not, because it is an 8.5-inch barrel, right? Stop expecting 16-inch barrel performance out of an 8.5-inch barrel, right? That's like getting mad at a Volkswagen Bug because it's not keeping up with NASCAR on the track. They're made for completely different things. This rifle was made for tankers and pilots to engage people at extremely short distances, right? So accuracy at distance and amazing velocity wasn't really taken into consideration with this rifle. Now, obviously, everyone has their own opinions. That's totally fine. However, just understand the purpose of the rifle when you're looking to purchase one. Like, I'm not going to pick the AKSU as my only fighting rifle, right? Because it is lacking in some of the capabilities, which is no fault of its own. Just the way that it's designed. So muzzle velocity out of this is going to be roughly about 2,500, which isn't too bad for an 8.5-inch barrel, but obviously it's not going to be the 16-inch velocity. And so accuracy, the furthest I've taken this out to is about 100 yards. I got about 3 MOA at about 100 yards. That's good enough for me. A lot of people who are into ARs really like that 1 MOA accuracy at 500 yards. Obviously, that's an exaggeration, but this is going to be, for me, more than enough if I need to engage from 50 to 100 yards, right? Not expecting any miracles out of it. Weight-wise on these, you're looking at about 6 pounds. And then the fully loaded polymer magazines, again, 5.56 is going to be lighter weight than the 7.62 by 39, but these are going to come in at approximately about a pound per piece, which is a lot better. So, with that being said, I hope this overview answered some questions, maybe provoked some thoughts. If you have any constructive criticism or comments, go ahead and leave them down below. And yeah. I appreciate you guys again, and we'll see you in the next one.